This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome into you. Happy Friday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant, and the weekend is almost here, and we're glad you're on WKYT to start off this new day. Now at 6 a.m., there has been an update in the search for a missing Nelson County woman. We'll have the latest on the investigation. It's just ahead this morning.
A memorial event honoring a victim from Comair Flight 5191 will be held for the last time tomorrow. More in the 10th Dawson Volleyball Tournament just ahead.
And a national memorial touring the country is now here in the Commonwealth. Coming up, hear what it means to some Central Kentucky veterans.
We have some showers sparking up early this morning. Central and southern zones, those are heading eastbound, and we're going to be traveling off into your afternoon with a few storms in the forecast. That's for today, but the big front is the story for the weekend. I'll have that coming up.
All right, let's get right to the news this morning. We began with an update on the search for a Nelson County mother who has been missing for more than a year.
Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk with details on new information on this.
Guys, it's the latest development in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. The mom of 5 has been missing for more than a year now, and search warrants have been served. Crystal's mom was there as one of the warrants was executed and a home was searched.
I just couldn't stay away. I just felt like I had to.
Now, this home you're seeing belongs to the grandmother of Nick Houck. He's the brother of Brooks Houck, who is Crystal's boyfriend. Police have named Brooks a suspect in the case, but he has not been charged. Deputies searched the home yesterday, but would not say what exactly was on the search warrant. Crystal's mom watched as investigators brought items out of the house. Now, she said she was just nervous and she just had to be there to see what was brought out of that house. And 2 hours later, after they searched this home you're seeing, investigators went back to a judge, got a warrant, and searched Nick's home. Now, if you remember correctly, Nick is the former police officer who was fired after interfering with the Rogers investigation. Police would not comment on what was taken from his home. Now, Rogers' family did say they've been told it has to do with DNA. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. New on WKYT this morning, police say one person was taken to the hospital, another went to jail following an early morning crash in Lexington. It happened shortly after midnight on Richmond Road at the New Circle off-ramp. Police say a man driving under the influence was headed outbound when he hit another driver who was exiting the circle onto Richmond Road. We're told the person who caused the crash was charged with DUI. Police say the driver hit was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
New this morning on WKYT, firefighters are trying to figure out what led to a fire that badly damaged a home in Bath County. The Salt Lick Fire Department says the fire was discovered yesterday at a home on Riddle Road. The crews were able to extinguish the blaze quickly, but the home had already been damaged there, has major damage as you can see. No one was injured in the fire. Crews say the homeowners were away when the fire started.
The 10-year anniversary of the tragic Comair Flight 5191 crash is still just over a week away.
But tomorrow there will be a special memorial volleyball tournament held in memory of one of the crash victims. It's happened every year since. WKYT's Mike Byer is live with details of the event. Mike?
Good morning, Bill. I'm at the UK Arboretum, which is home to the Comair Flight 5191 memorial. For the 10th year in a row, family and friends of a person killed in that plane crash are coming together for a volleyball tournament. Fenton Dawson died when Comair Flight 5191 crashed near the Bluegrass Airport in August of 2006. Dawson was an avid volleyball player, and his loved ones decided to honor him by playing a tournament in his name each year. This year will be bittersweet for organizers and participants, as it will be the final year of the event. The tournament will take place tomorrow at the Kentucky Basketball Academy in Lexington. The net proceeds of the event raised over the last 10 years will go toward a preservation fund for the Comair Flight 5191 memorial here at the UK Arboretum. Now, to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Flight 5191 crash, a memorial service will be held next Saturday right here at the Arboretum. It begins at 10 a.m. and WKYT will have full coverage of the event. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thanks so much, Mike. A Whitley County woman faces charges after police say she abandoned her dogs for weeks. Police say Angela Mullins was arrested after leaving her dogs in her Corbin home for weeks without food, water, or proper care. They say one of the dogs, a pit bull, was found malnourished and covered in waste. Mullins is charged with animal cruelty.
A deadly crash in Harlan County is under investigation this morning. State police say it happened yesterday on Highway 421 near Harlan when Roston Bray Jr. hit a truck while making a U-turn. We're told that Bray later died at a hospital. Police say 2 other people were also taken to the hospital. We do not know their conditions this morning. With students getting ready to flock to UK's campus, the UK Police Department is hoping to find the man responsible for a robbery on campus. That happened yesterday afternoon in the Patterson office tower. Police say a woman walked into her office and noticed a man standing behind her desk. They say the man grabbed some money from the office and then ran off. Police say the victim is a UK employee.
Victims of a frightening home invasion in Harrison County think that the burglar may have targeted their home ahead of time. Gerald Hill says it happened late Sunday evening when a man armed with a baseball bat forced his way into the home on Indian Creek Drive. Hill says the man forced he and his 93-year-old mother into a bedroom and demanded that they give over the mother's purse. Hill says the suspect's face was covered, but thinks that the man may have staked out the home earlier in the day.
Well, he pushed the front door open. Apparently, they'd been here earlier in the day, and Mom didn't lock the door.
Well, Hill says he tried to call 911 after the suspect took off with the purse, but his landline phone was disconnected. Police later found out that the line had been cut, furthering Hill's suspicion that the man was targeting his home. At this time, no arrests have been made.
A traveling memorial to thousands of fallen heroes is now in Rockcastle County. The moving Vietnam Veterans Memorial is on display right now outside the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Renfro Valley. It's a half-size replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. The wall will be on display until Monday and is open 24 hours a day. One Vietnam veteran told us that just seeing the memorial in Kentucky is a very special moment.
It's an experience because I know names on that wall. We have some countyans here that I know's on the wall. It's bringing it to a county that a lot of people will never get to experience the real one. And this is as close to it as they're going to get.
Again, you can visit anytime around the clock, but volunteers will be on site every day from 8 until 10 to help visitors find names.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Boy, did we have an interesting afternoon in Winchester, Kentucky yesterday. I want to briefly go over that and kind of explain, if you missed out on last night, the way Chris Bailey was explaining it. So here's the explanation on it. I want you to turn and look at the screen. You see at Winchester, I mean, just look at that. I would say virtually everybody, if not everybody, I can almost guarantee everybody looks at this and says, that does not look impressive, and it wasn't. I mean, we're looking at a shower outside, not a supercell thunderstorm, nothing that's rotating up in the sky, but what you saw out of that was an actual funnel, and this was the funnel, the picture. This was sent in by Megan Davidson, a picture of the funnel there in Winchester yesterday. We've had several pictures, several videos. We really appreciate you guys sending those in. You can check that out on Facebook and also my Twitter page, Micah Harris WX. Grab your phone, check that out. And yeah, I mean, you could see, I mean, it's obvious that it's a funnel, right? But is it a funnel out of supercell or is it a land spout? It's actually a land spout. And what happens here is the difference from this is this actually came from the ground, not from the cloud, okay? And what I mean by that is with supercell thunderstorms, with these big thunderstorms put down these big tornadoes, strong tornadoes, that is not what's going on here, okay? That is actually rotating up in the cloud and then it drops that funnel. This actually, we had some boundaries or pieces of air collide with each other down at the surface of the ground we walk on, and then it starts to spin, and then it starts to go up into the cloud. So that's what we saw yesterday. We didn't hear any reports actually there of it reaching the ground, but nonetheless, it was very interesting to see. I've personally never seen that in my career. That was pretty interesting to see, pretty neat to see. We do have some showers out there early this morning, rolling across the region, and these are pretty much the way these showers look like as we went into the afternoon there in Winchester. But, you know, land spouts, they're extremely rare, but we saw one yesterday. 83 degrees by the afternoon, and you get into the weekend. The weekend, we're hitting 84 degrees there on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. 40% chance of rain during the daylight hours on Saturday, 100% chance of rain Saturday evening, night, off into early Sunday morning. That means Sunday afternoon, guys, off into next week. Look phenomenal. Here comes some fall weather, a nice little taste of it. And this is typical for this time of year. Typically late August, late August, you start to get at least a shot of it, and we're getting that. That is for sure. It looks great.
Then here comes the fall, which is always beautiful around these parts.
Gorgeous.
It really was a talker yesterday with that Winchester situation over there.
Right.
6:10 our time on WKYT.
Each morning we bring you weather and traffic.
Let's go to Officer Don with a look at what's happening out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Hey, good morning. There's a stalled car. It's inbound Alumni at the Circle in the right turn lane. So police are going to clear that here shortly, but that's something you may have to deal with. That's part of your route, at least for the next few minutes. Let's get a look at overall Lexington traffic flow this morning on Nicholasville Road, Harrodsburg Road, and on the interstate. We're good to go. Now, as far as drive times, no problems to report so far, and we get a live look at Nicholasville and Reynolds. We can check things out both in and outbound, courtesy of the Lexington and Fayette Urban County government. No problems there. Now back to the studio.
Okay, looking good out there this morning, and traffic quite light at the moment, so we'll see if things start to pick up here shortly. We have a lot more news coming up for you Friday morning on WKYT.
And the remaining U.S. Olympic swimmers involved in the Ryan Lochte robbery controversy are headed back to the U.S. today, but they may not be out of hot water just yet. More on this really strange situation when we come back.
Welcome back in. WKYT this morning on the air. Our time is almost 6:15 here on your Friday. This morning, Team USA swimmers Gunnar Bentz and Jack Conger are on their way home, and teammate James Feigens will be the next to leave. He's about to get on a plane.
Yeah, his lawyer says that he has reached an agreement with the Brazilian authorities to pay $10,000, and he will be allowed to head back to the U.S. today. Jamie Yukas has the latest.
American swimmer Jimmy Fagan testified before a Brazilian judge in Rio overnight, as teammates Gunnar Bentz and Jack Conger made their way back to the U.S. under a cloud of suspicion.
Any message for the Brazilians or Americans?
Bentz and Conger were detained in the country Wednesday as part of the ongoing investigation into claims they, along with Fagan and Ryan Lochte, were robbed at gunpoint in the city last Sunday.
They pulled us over, they pulled out their guns, they told the other swimmers to get down on the ground.
Brazilian officials say this surveillance video proves that's not true. They say it shows the swimmers being confronted by armed security after vandalizing a gas station. A statement by the U.S. Olympic Committee Thursday appeared to agree with the Brazilian account, saying security, quote, demanded the athletes provide a monetary payment, and once paid, they were allowed to leave. Lochte's former coach says the swimmers could now face serious sanctions that could hurt their careers.
The United States swimming always takes a pretty strict stand if allegations like this are true, so I would suspect that there would be some kind of suspension involved.
Lochte, who is already back in the U.S., is so far sticking to his story. U.S. swimming officials are investigating the matter and will decide if there will be any consequences for the athletes. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Rio de Janeiro.
Well, it is still possible police in Rio could charge the men for falsely reporting a crime. Ryan Lochte's attorney said in a statement he's not aware of any federal police charges and said no matter what happened at the gas station, the swimmers were robbed by people with a gun appearing to be law enforcement.
Donald Trump is expected to tour flooded areas in Louisiana today. Speaking from North Carolina, the Republican candidate uncharacteristically expressed regret for some of the rhetoric he's used out on the campaign trail. The latest polls show Trump trailing rival Hillary Clinton in most key battleground states.
For the first time, the State Department says there is a link between a $400 million cash payment to Iran and the release of 4 Americans who were held prisoner there. The State Department says Iran couldn't get the money until the Americans were freed, but the Obama administration insists the money was not a ransom, claiming it was owed to Iran as part of a failed arms deal 35 years ago. Republicans and GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump have been critical of that money transfer. Firefighters say they are making progress against a massive wildfire raging out in Southern California. The Blue Cut fire, which erupted Tuesday, has scorched more than 35,000 acres, forcing thousands from their homes. Some of the mandatory evacuation orders have been lifted.
Okay, our time this morning is coming up on 6:18 on WKYT. Decide for yourself if you want to try this out. Uber will offer rides in self-driving cars within weeks. The specially outfitted Ford Fusions and Volvo XC90s will make short trips in Pittsburgh with the help of a human backup driver. The rides will be free to anyone who is willing to take them. T-Mobile and Sprint are changing their cell phone service, the pricing structure, to focus on unlimited data plans while reducing lower-end options. T-Mobile announcing unlimited data for $70 a month. Sprint responded about an hour later by slashing their unlimited plans to $60. Both new plans stream video at less than HD quality. Also this morning, Twitter is amping up its war on terror. The social media company announced it has suspended 235,000 accounts in the last 6 months for promoting terrorism. That's the total number. When you add together what they had done before, they've suspended 360,000 accounts since 2015. The company did not identify the terrorist groups or specific accounts, but it's likely many are associated with ISIS, which has been especially active on Twitter and other social networks to spread propaganda and try to attract new recruits. All of Eddie Bauer's North American stores were reportedly targeted by credit card thieves this year. The company says it found and removed malware from registers at nearly 350 stores. The clothing retailer says debit and credit cards used at its stores between January and July 17th of this year may have been compromised. The company has not said how many customers have been affected, but you can visit their website for more information on this. Lexington has an Eddie Bauer store located in Fayette Mall. We'll get a link on WKYT.com for that as well, so that you can check out that information. And
yeah, that's good to know.
You may have been targeted. Yeah.
WKYT this morning is just getting started. Thanks for starting your Friday off with us. Lightning caught on camera took a Texas family by surprise. A close call with Mother Nature when we come back.
I've had one of those before, and it is not fun. Hey, we're tracking a big cold front this weekend. It's going to bring us a lot of rain for parts of the weekend and also some much nicer conditions. A fall feel on the way. I'll show you when you can expect that coming up.
Well, there's been an update in the search for a missing Nelson County mother.
And that's what's trending this hour on WKYT. The Nelson County Sheriff's Office has served more search warrants in connection to the Crystal Rogers case. The latest was served to former Nick Houck, who was a former police officer there, the brother of Rogers' former boyfriend, Brooks Houck. Investigators were seen taking some things out of his home yesterday. They would not go into detail about that warrant. Our time is right now 6:24 on WKYT.
A driver is recovering after an early morning crash in Lexington. Police say the crash happened on Richmond Road off the off-ramp of New Circle when another driver under the influence caused the crash. Police say that driver is now charged with DUI.
More students moving in at UK and EKU and other campuses. And how will the weather be for that, Micah?
Well, we're crossing our fingers that it works out for everybody. But the problem here is when you start to see showers during the morning hours spark up, you know during the afternoon you're going to at least have that opportunity. There is the look central southern zones. That is your best bet to actually see some of these showers roll on by. Some of these are brief, but they're heavy downpours, so it's not going to be fun trying to get those kids out to the bus stop early this morning. If you are heading out and about, you're in the central and the southern zones here in about an hour or so if you're about to get the kids out the door, or if you're about to leave right now, just know that a few showers will be with us. They're very spotty, not everybody's seeing those, but central and south is the best opportunity to see those. Afternoon, them coming home, yeah, some spotty storms are in the forecast. But the big picture here is, the big story is tracking this big weekend cold front. Now, not only will it bring showers and thunderstorms, maybe even the possibility of some strong storms, guys, but it's also going to bring cooler air. It's a cold front, right? So we'll show you when that arrives and how good it looks next week. That's coming up.
All right. We've had words like awesome on the forecast for parts of next week, so that sounds really good. Well, a Texas family is recovering after having a close call with Mother Nature.
Take a look as a bolt of lightning struck their patio just feet from where they were unloading their car. The video is a little bit choppy, but you can see the flash of the strike. Let's see that. Ooh, a little kid there.
And he grabbed his
ears. He's like, ah, what was that? It forced the family to the ground, clutching their ears. The father suffered some minor burns from this, but everyone else was okay. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Hopefully their hearing was okay too.
Right. It is amazing sometimes how it just can be so close.
Oh, it can really just sneak up
sound,
on you.
Yeah, just crackling. You know it's really close by. 6:26, our time on WKYT.
When we come back, kayakers who found themselves in trouble at the Cumberland Falls will serve their punishment today. A closer explanation coming up at 6:30.
And how that could help others in that area. Also, tonight's Mega Millions is $61 million. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot has climbed to $110 million. We'll be right back with our top stories on WKYT.